Hey everyone, it's Brandon Bornancin. Welcome to Sales Secrets. Our intention for the show is to give you the secrets to success from our new guest, Mr. 10X himself, Grant Cardone. Grant, good to see you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
good to
joining,
see you,
man.
brother. Good to see you.
For those of you who don't know who Grant is, I don't know how you miss him, but he's the CEO of Cardone Ventures, Cardone Capital, Cardone University, Cardone Enterprises. He's the author of some of my favorite books, The 10X Rule, which will change your life, your mindset, your business, your success. Sell or be sold, be obsessed or be average. He's written dozens of books, contents, courses. He also went from nothing to owning over $4 billion now in real estate. This man, if you want to learn from someone who's not just succeeded and multiplied throughout one recession, but 3 recessions, that's why we're meeting with Grant. Dude, thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thanks for being in the studio. Great to have you
here. This
here.
place is sick. This is amazing. And you helped my team and I and millions of people scale and expand while other people are retracting. And I want to talk about, our audience are B2B salespeople, entrepreneurs. The whole tech industry just wiped out 1 million jobs.
Yeah.
I got on a call, my sales call.
The first million.
Right.
That's the first million.
Because you were telling me the big waves coming in
100%.
In a month.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, those times are over for a moment. So the tide's got to go out. It came in. It offered a lot of easy money, and a lot of people worked very, very hard for that money. But those times are over. You have 200 plus companies on the public exchanges that are zombie companies. They've never made money. They're never going to make money. We're a long way from the metaverse. Anybody in tech knows that we're a long way from that ever making money. That has been a vacuum, a vortex of just
sucking money,
wasteful expenditure. Maybe it becomes something one day, probably will, but we're a long way from that universe becoming a financially solvent industry, which coming out of COVID, the inflation thing became a scare, it seemed to pick up where COVID left off, and now we're in this. So you can't have interest rates go from 0 to 7.5%. That's going to affect housing in this country. It's going to affect the ability for companies to borrow money and pay their debts back. So you got all this happening at the same time, and it's happening globally. So what does that mean for everybody? It means, one, there's a contraction coming. You can deny it. You can try to resist it. You can try to pretend it's not happening. It's happening. And you're going to participate in it.
Yeah.
You can't mindset your way out of this. The question is, what are you going to do about it? So in January, we're doing this 5-day event where we're actually going to sit down and show people how to expand through this. You made a comment about these 3 recessions I've been through. The middle of the 1990s, there was a savings and loan debacle. I was just starting in business. Most of you are not old enough to remember this, but I was 25 years old, and there was 25% unemployment where I lived. Real unemployment. In Louisiana. 1 out of every 4 people that worked were home without a job and wanted to work. Then 2000 happened with the internet bust, which is very similar to what's going on right now with the crypto, right? Then 2008 came. 2008 was violent, man. These things just get bigger and and then COVID happened. 40 million jobs were lost, but they flooded the market with money. Every one of these cycles where there was drama, my companies somehow seemed to expand. And I don't know whether it's I got on big alert. I got so scared that I'm like, I got to really hustle. Hopefully that this will wake you guys up. And each of them, which is very interesting, allowed me a pivot to get away from something I was doing that I was no longer happy with. And so some of your audience right now, maybe you've been trying to get out of tech for a while. Maybe you've been trying to get out of the Valley for a while. Maybe you've been trying to get out of, working for a big corporate entity for a while. Maybe you're ready to work at home or start your own deal. This might be the pivot. It's not going to feel good. It's not going to look good, but it might be the thing that you later look back on. I know it has been for me. Dude, this was an opportunity, not a problem.
And when, I know you helped us build an unstoppable, unbreakable business, especially during COVID, before COVID, when we were fundraising, you name it. I was on a sales call with 150 people earlier today at 9 a.m. My VP of sales said, a lot of our people are scared.
Yeah.
The past week, my wife Danielle's been fielding questions from the million salespeople that use the software. How do we combat this thing?
Right.
You've got this formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got this formula with these 5 pillars to build this unbreakable business. I know the challenge. So Grant's running this challenge in January 24th through the 28th. It's amazing. This is like all day deal, right?
Yeah, it's free. It doesn't cost anything, so we're not here to sell you anything.
And this is built off of, talk about these five pillars and what's going on.
There's, the first thing you have to do when you want to do anything, you have to make a decision. A lot of people brush over this and say, oh, I got to make a decision. Yeah, no, but you have to make a decision that you're not going to be the same in any event. Like this moment that you're having right now on the internet, watching us in this interview, you cannot reproduce this moment. You can wish it, want it, walk on fire to get it. You cannot reproduce it. It can't happen. No matter how many decisions you make, you cannot reproduce this one moment. The future, however, can be created out of decisions. Like, what decisions am I going to make to go from here to there? If I don't make that decision, I don't go there. Everything follows a decision, whether you know it or not. So in this contraction, this is probably going to be 18 to 24 months. It could be a little longer than that. It's going to be ugly, man. It's going to be nasty. The longer it is, the more it hurts. Most people will not make a decision in this process. They're just going to let this thing happen to them, right? It's like they're going to be in the ocean and the tide's just going to take them this way, and then it's going to take them that way, then it's going to wash them on the shore, then it's going to bring them back out. You have to make a decision where you're going to end up in this cycle. So the decision, number one pillar, is we're going to work with this group of people that show up in January to where do you want to be at the other end of this? So that you're not smaller. Because what's going to happen is this: billions of people, not millions, not hundreds of millions, billions of people are going to get smaller as a result of this global reset. These are resets. These are redistributions of wealth, whether you believe it or not. If you go back the last couple hundred years, they've been doing this over and over again. There's this old thing about if you took all the money on the planet, equally distributed it to everyone, it would somehow, in a very short period of time, end up in the same hands. Why? Because those people have specific strategies. One, they're making decisions to create wealth for themselves. Two, massive wealth. It's not little bits of wealth. They want massive amounts of wealth. Okay. Two, they know how to market themselves. Now, I'm not talking about social media marketing. I'm talking about, how do I just market myself with you or with you right now? How do I market my brand? Apple knows how to do it. Coca-Cola, General Electric. The companies that are hot, Netflix knows how to do it. You have to learn how to do that in order to get money to follow attention. So the first pillar is the decision to get bigger. You and your family have to make this like you and your wife did.
Yeah.
My wife and I, okay, my kids are on board. I got an 11-year-old and 13-year-old. I'm like, look, our decision is to get bigger, and that requires some sacrifices. So hopefully all of you will join us in January to figure out, how do you make 2023 an opportunity for you to get bigger, not an event that makes you smaller.
Yeah, you can scale. You can grow the fastest you've ever grown.
You can grow faster doing a contraction than you can during good times. Okay? Yeah. Because what happens is there's fewer people to compete with. There's also going to be people throwing the towel in.
Yeah.
Like, we were with a guy this week with my partner Brandon and my other Brandon and my other Brandon. And we're working with this guy that has a company, and he's trying to grow the company 10%. I said, bro, it's going to be easier for you to add 10 companies this year for no money that are already branded, marketed, named. Like, we can rename them if you want to, but we don't need to. We could literally buy 10 businesses in 2023 faster than you can grow your business 10%. This is another way to think. The guy looked at me and said, what did you just say? I said, we could grow 10 new locations with no money in 2023 faster than we can grow your business 10%. And we will. That's what we'll do for him. That's the new target.
It's just changed completely for him.
It's a new opportunity because things change. When business changes, things change. When the weather changes, you change. And the weather's going to change.
A lot of people talk about how, it sounds like the first secret is mindset, money, making a decision.
Yeah.
This second
but I don't want that
marketing.
to be confused with like motivation and I'm going to get excited. I'm not an exciting person. Like, just so you know, I'm not like, I'm going to get all excited about this and take a cold plunge and I'm going to feel it and now I'm going to go out and conquer the world. I don't do those. That's not what I do. I think it's important. I mean, I'd like to be motivated all the time, but I've never, in my experience, I don't wake up every day excited.
Yeah, you gotta tell yourself, I'm gonna make this day.
I need to win in the deal. Mm-hmm. I want to be in the deal and win in the deal. Like, I want to be in a deal and know I can get a fair shake in that deal, and that deal was a good deal for me. And like, if I could go out and buy, 10 companies with no money, that'd be something to bring home to mama and say,
huge.
look what I did today. We just went from one company that was broken to 10 companies, multiply a little bit of profit times 10, and it's better. By the way, if I could have 100 of those and not even be in the business, and now other people are running that business, I've created wealth and prosperity for the family. And that's the game that people need to start thinking about playing. This recession is going to be a reminder to you that your mindset, your decision to go wherever you're going is somewhat broken. That being playing it safe and being in the middle class and just having enough is a very risky formula in America. You actually get rewarded in this country for taking risks, and you get penalized for staying small.
Yeah, go all in.
Yeah, so first the decision, then it's like, okay, how are we going to market these 10 companies, or how are we going to market yourself as you move from LinkedIn to maybe a new company or starting a new company? If you're making a move, if you're in transition, you're coming out of the military and you're going to become a civilian. You're going from a police force. Maybe they defund the police where you live or whatever. And you're like, I'm done with this police work, man. And nobody even likes me. Now you're going to become an entrepreneur. You got to rebrand yourself. Maybe you're a single mother that, you spent the last 2 years with a baby and you're like, okay, I want to go back to work and grow my own business. Well, you have to market that business. Marketing is senior to sales.
And talk about that, because you talk a lot about money follows attention.
Yeah.
People can't buy from you if they don't know you. These B2B salespeople, entrepreneurs, marketers tuning in, mainly salespeople and entrepreneurs, like, what are your secrets? Because they may be new to marketing.
Dude, look, probably 90% of your sales are made after multiple contacts. It is the marketing that goes on between those contacts that makes that contact close. The better you are at marketing, the less effective you have to be as a salesperson. Like, it's very difficult to make great salespeople. It's much easier to become a great marketer.
Wow.
So it is much, much easier. I didn't know this, right? So, because nobody talked to me about marketing, but when I studied, and this is really, really important for everybody, you guys start studying successful people. If you want to be a salesman the rest of your life and live off commissions the rest of your life, great. Study the best salespeople out there. But I'm going to tell you something. If you want to make your life easier, start figuring out how to scale your sales. And the way to scale your sales is through marketing. I'd rather have 10 people buy from me than have to sell one person.
Yeah.
I don't want the hard sale anymore. I want the easy sales. And this isn't about like, I don't mind working hard. I know how to work hard, but I don't want to work hard every day. Yeah. I'd like to work more at collecting more fruit that wants to fall off the tree, the easy sales. And marketing is the only way to make sales easy. Word tracks do not make the sale easier. I mean, they'll make it better. It'll handle an objection. Follow-up, tremendous follow-up will almost guarantee you a sale. But in between the follow-up, if you want to speed up your sales cycle, for instance, if you're in a sales cycle that typically is very, very long, the only way to make that sales cycle shorter is through marketing and trust. And marketing is the only thing that builds trust. It's not what you say, or how you dress. It is the frequency at which you show up in people's ideas or thoughts. It's called omnipresence. And we'll teach you how to do that in January.
Yeah, January. So this challenge, a lot of what we're talking about, building an unbreakable business. What are the secrets of building an unbreakable, recession-proof, multiplying, expansion, maximize your sales, your income, your results? We talked about marketing. We talked about mindset. What are the other, because you said there's 5
Yeah,
secrets,
and then it's how do I start monetizing those efforts? Like, through things like second sales. Second sales, for instance, or, the internet has discovered, automation on the internet has discovered second sales better than most human beings have. I've been talking about second sales. We'll do $150 million a year in sales here. I'll bet you 90 million of it is a second sale, not a first sale. Easy.
Like
it's
an
easy.
Upsell, cross-sell.
It's upsell, cross-sell. Guy going from free to $10,000. A guy going from free to 25 grand. The crazy thing is, free is a sale, by the way. My career has been made off of free sales. Most of what I do has been free. 80% of my career, or 35 years, has been free, a free offer.
You're giving advice around the clock, 7 days a week.
Somebody, like I'm doing a mastermind next week in Cabo. It's 25 grand per person. Somebody on this will buy that. Watch this for free and move to a $25,000 purchase immediately. It's grantcardone.com/Cabo. Come spend 2 days with our partners in Cabo San Lucas on a yacht, out in the sun, having a great time. If this is even posting time. We do a couple of these a year. Anyway, that money goes to our Grant Cardone Foundation. It helps a lot of kids. You get to be with some super successful
We went to the
people.
real estate one. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane.
It's crazy.
Right? So the point I'm making is free is a sale. You guys don't count it as a sale, but I do. Okay, like literally, if we give 1,000 books away a day. It's called books sold, income zero. Okay, I don't know what it's going to be worth though. It's going to be worth millions of dollars. Now, salespeople that work at companies, if you work at Microsoft or maybe whoever you work for, right? You pick it. You guys don't think about giving people free stuff. You think about the company having to do everything. And until you start scaling yourself, scaling doesn't always mean that I become 10 of me, even though it can mean that. First, it means double, triple. How could I produce 10 times more than I produce faster, right? How could I make a sale that takes a year and a half, make it in 1 month? Because then I could do more, okay? You're scaling through time. But the other way to scale is through omnipresence, is that I would do a phone call with you, have a follow-up letter. I just scaled. I bounce up on your Instagram and say, by the way, just met, Damon today. Awesome dude over at, boom, he sees me there. And then he sees a little thank you on LinkedIn. I'm scaling through omnipresence and efforts and energy. And people buy from people they know. And that means that if I know you, okay, it means I know you, right? So I can recognize you and not know you. And so a lot of people are like, hey, don't I know you from somewhere? Yeah, but obscurity is I know you and I forgot you. Or I don't know you at all, okay? Which are basically the same thing. I know Johnny, but I hadn't seen him in 10 years. In the meantime, I hired all these other camera people to do work for me in the 10 years because I forgot about Johnny working for me for 4 years. So that's what a lot of salespeople do. They drop the ball because they don't have a plan. They get disappointed when they lost the sale. 85% of the people that you talk to do not buy the first time. In fact, 85% take anywhere between 7 and 12 contacts to ever consummate a sale. So that scaling thing is both about how do you multiply your efforts and when are you going to exit this sales job and become a sales manager? When are you going to exit that job? That's also scaling. When am I going to exit that position and become the owner? When am I going to exit the owner job and become
an investor?
Yeah, or I own 100 of them. And then when do I exit the 100 and become an investor in other things? When do you exit the single mother job and become, hey, I got a nanny now taking care of the kids and I'm running a business because I became a female titan. So, everybody's got to exit. The teenager exits to, young adulthood. Young adults have to exit to adulthood. Adults.
Yeah.
There's no way not to scale. Question is, are you going to scale successfully? Or are you going to be the slave the whole time?
And how do you ensure, when all these economies retract, people, like I told you, we get tons of emails. People are freaking out right now.
Yeah.
You can't be freaking out. You got to have this plan.
First thing that goes is advertising dollars. You're seeing it. Okay, you're going to see it all over the place. They're going to try to hide it in the beginning. They're going to try to hide it. You saw it in the last 3 weeks. Twitter is, nobody's going to advertise on Twitter because of Elon, blah, blah, blah. It's got nothing to do with it, okay? 50% of all ad dollars has been cut across every digital platform and TV platform in the world. So that's already happening. They're just covering it up with the Twitter red herring.
Blaming it on Elon.
Exactly. Let's go find an enemy. The truth is they're cutting back. Number one. Number two, the second thing is jobs. Many of you already seen somebody down the hall from you get cut. That's going to continue. It's going to happen. What does that do? Third thing is fear. Fear starts, okay? What they'll do is they'll start admitting to it. They'll start having layoffs. It'll start scaring people, and that's going to scare people to not spend money, okay? You've already seen Elon talked about it. Jeff Bezos says, I would stop all major investment, all major expenditures I would put off. Like, it's going to start happening. Goldman, Bank of America, Citibank, they'll all start agreeing to the same thing. And then this creates this, oh my God. That is the moment The capitulation is the moment where you are going to stand out because somebody's going to decide to cut you. They're going to be like, there's 4 people. We got to cut 2 of them. Who goes? I know who I'm going to get rid of.
It's a stack rank. You're like, you got to be at the top.
I'm going to cut the people I don't know first. Your obscurity, your marketing is going to become your problem now. Okay, this has been an age-old problem. But why does the cousin, the nephew, not get cut? Because they know him. They know the nephew. He's a dumb dipwit, worth nothing. But they know him. They're like, you can't cut him, man. I know him. Okay, so what they do is they go cut the guy they don't know. Why did I know this guy, Dave over here? Why? Because Dave didn't know how to market himself successfully as an employee. So now he's going to get cut and say, I'm going to go start my own business. Bro, your business is going to fail because you don't know how to market yourself. And you don't know how to sell anything. And you don't know how to manage people. So then you're going to be like, and you know all those things to be true. So what's going to happen is you're not going to do anything.
Just going to freeze.
You're going to freeze. You're going to go and freeze. You're going to go into depression. You're going to go home to your wife and you're going to pull her down the tubes. And you're going to look at your kids and not feel like a good husband. This is what happens to people. I have a family member that got let go from their job 45 years ago. Super talented guy. Has not worked one day since then. Because he got beat up, man. And you guys know people that happens to. These things happen every 10 or 12 years. And they brutalize families. Like they create depression, anxiety, financial problems. And this doesn't happen to you. You can't stop this reset that's happening. But you can take advantage of it. It's a bit like a diving board. Like you got to spring into it. You got to push off of it to get the bounce. And that's what this thing's going to offer you.
Yeah. So when it comes to
Have you and your wife made a decision to expand through this?
Oh yeah.
See,
100%.
So he's here. He's like, okay, I know it's happening.
Yeah.
The tide's going out. We have to swim. We could just go with it for a second and then wait for that one moment to hit the beach again, right?
Yeah. We had emergency meetings and we're like,
yeah,
this is going to happen.
Yes.
You need to 3 to 5x the activity, the effort. What took you, what you had to do before, it's going to take 3, 5, 10x more.
Yeah.
To just produce the same results.
But only for a little while. Okay. This is what you guys need to know. This is not, you don't have to 10x forever. So when you go into this, you got to remember the tide's going to go out. Okay. The economy is going to go out tight. Nothing's really happened, by the way, in these recessions. Nothing's really changed. It's just an illusion that somehow, oh my God, there's no money now. No, the money's still there. Nothing's really changed except everybody's mindset. Everybody still has to eat. They still have to wear clothes. They still have to travel. They still want to have sex and procreate and have fun and go to the movies. And everybody wants to do the same stuff. You still got 8 billion people on the planet growing every day. The thing is, there's fewer people going for it. This is what I always say, man. There's an abundance amount of money on planet Earth and a shortage of people going after it.
And this is the perfect time for people to go all out.
Bro, this is it, because what happens if you 10x your efforts for just short periods of time, maybe 6 or 8 or 9 months, and start building out a new network of people, what happens is people are going to back out. And you're going to look up and you're going to be like, there's only 3 or 4 of us on the field. Like there's only going to be a handful of people playing the game. Everybody else is just, oh, I'm grateful. We're better off than the Pakistanians and the Palestinians and the Cubans you're always comparing yourself to some third world country that's not developed. This is what people do all the time, by the way. Okay. There's some village in Africa where, they don't have running water. I hear this story all the time. These people, you ever been to Africa?
Glad we have food.
You don't even know what you're talking about. You're comparing. You could always find somebody worse off to compare yourself to, when what you should be doing instead,
looking up,
is setting an example for all the people that are below you or side of you that are suffering, and say, no, man, we should be expanding and have prosperity in all times, especially in tough times.
So if you started from nothing, like a lot, because you did it once, right?
Yeah.
Well, that show, Undercover Billionaire.
Yeah.
Was that exhausting? Was that
It's terrible, dude. Like so.
You looked so cold in where is it?
Pueblo, Colorado.
It looked cold.
So Discovery Channel came to me and said, hey man, if we drop you off in a town and you didn't have any money, couldn't use your name. Similar to what everybody's going to be going through in 2023.
I feel like it's the same thing right now.
Yeah. Nobody knows you. You're in transition. You can't use your name. You don't have a credit card. You don't have any money. That's how it's going to feel. They dropped me off in Pueblo, Colorado. I'd never been there before. Shaved my head, grew a beard, and I became another person. Lewis Curtis. I had $100, an old truck, and a phone that was blank. I couldn't use my phone, couldn't call my buddies. And I had 90 days to build $1 million business. Now, I did not know that COVID was going to stop the activity at 10 days. So I had 90 days. In the 10th day, I was stopped. I had no food, no water, no place to live. And I had to figure out how to build $1 million business. And I did. I built a $5.5 million business in 90 days during COVID when 40 million people were let go because I have the strategy, the exact strategy I'll share in January.
Yeah, and I was like, how did you do this? And you're like, dude, we're covering it in this challenge.
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm sharing all the secrets. I'll share all the secrets with you right now, which Grant, you're doing.
I know,
but you go even in depth.
Well, we had 5 days. We got 5 days in January. Right now, we're going to have what?
And you're bringing in these experts, right, to talk about exactly what you did there. Exactly
so it's not the reason
here.
we bring other people is I don't want the audience to think, well, it's Grant. Grant did it because Grant's got some special superpower. Everybody's got these superpowers.
Anyone could do this
if you make the decision to expand. If you never make the first decision, if you don't get through number 1. And you decide, like, I want to take care of my family at another level that no one in any time in the previous 5 generations has taken care of your family. If you want to be the superhero of your family, show up in January. Wow. If you just want to be another name, in one of those black and white pictures they put in the family tree. You ever look at the family tree? There's one guy in there, one guy or gal in there, like, oh my God. Everybody else, nobody knows them. Just a bunch of freaking wankers.
Yeah, and it's interesting, as the CEO at Seamless, the people that I know the most.
I don't want to be a wanker.
That are doing the most, right?
Put that below in the chat if you're watching this. I don't want to be a wanker.
The people that don't typically get let go. The people that are doing the most in sales, doing the most in marketing, that are scaling their efforts, that have the right positive attitude, that whatever it takes, 10x type of mindset.
Yeah.
They're never typically at the bottom of the list. And also, I think like what you talk about a lot is communication is a key pillar to this deal.
1,000.
Talk to me about that. Like, what are the secrets of communication? Why is that important?
Like, if you go, the old adage about if if there's a tree falls in the forest and no one's there, did it make a sound? Isn't that what it is? Did it really happen, or did it make a sound? I don't know. Look it up. It's one of those two, right? So anyway, that's a great question. So if you go out on the street and communicate and there's nobody there to listen, did you actually say anything? If you send an email and it hits the junk box and nobody saw it, did you actually communicate? If I communicate to you and you don't actually duplicate the communication, did the communication take place? There's a lot of salespeople out there. In fact, I would say most salespeople, majority, somewhere above 3 out of 4, communicate. And there is no communication. There's no duplication of the communication. I know public speakers that get on stage and speak to 100 people or 300 people or 30,000 people. There's really no communication. People in the back of the room never had their attention, never had their full attention. If you've ever seen a Zoom meeting or a corporate meeting,
zombies.
And dude, people come in the meeting and they're all like, there's this, the delay coming in, and then and people, can't get anybody's attention, and people are showing up like there's no communication going on. But you think you did a meeting, and then you wonder why there's no results. Guess what? It's because there was no communication, even though you spent your time and energy. What does it say? Did it really happen? It never happened, okay? So if you communicate and it's not duplicated, did it really happen? You're going home at night saying, oh, I'm so tired. I worked so hard. Really, the reason you feel so tired is because you did something and it got nothing that actually was never done because it wasn't duplicated. As opposed to today where you communicate clearly and you get results and people buy from you, you go home and you're like, man, this is the best day of my life. You're renewed. Why? Because the communication went both ways. So that requires you get a stage. It requires you get an audience. It requires you to get attention. There's an exact science to grabbing someone's full attention. I'm not talking about trickery and mimicry and some of these neuroscience, neuro blah, 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 pseudo bullshit sciences.
Yeah.
I'm talking about straight up, hey, do you hear what I'm saying to you? We are going to go into a massive recession. It's going to affect your family. Did I get your attention? Did you hear what I said? Hey, tell me what I just said. And then I get an audience to say, yeah, dude, you just said my family's going to get spanked and it's going to hurt. And then I said, yes, exactly what I said. Your family's going to get beat up and you can do something about it. Do you want to? See, I need to get a clear communication because I got attention. So there's an exact science to that. Even some of the best salespeople I know don't do that well.
How did you get great at communication? Because the first time that I was ever on camera was in your old office, 2013. Never been on camera before. I was a kid out of college. My first sales job, I was in the office because I've been following you for a while and you've helped mentor me and a lot of people I know in my company and our team and our network, changed our lives. But that was like, oh shit, why is this guy got cameras following him? Why is this guy such a great communicator? How did you become so, like?
I'll tell you, I was a salesman. I was a retail salesman when I was 25 years old, and I was actually a salesperson from the age of like 16 or 17 till 25. But I was an amateur. I never made a commitment to be a great salesperson. I was just being a salesperson to get a commission. Like a lot of people bartend or waiters or Uber drivers. The only reason you're doing that job is to get some money. You never made a decision to be a great Uber driver, a great waiter, a great photographer. You never made a decision. And so at 25, man, I got tired of being average. It was painful. Like I'd look at myself in the mirror. I hated myself. I knew for sure that I had more potential. I knew there was this Grant Cardone that we built. I knew was in me, but it would take, I wasn't great at anything. So I made a decision to get great at sales. 25, this is 38 years ago. 38 years ago. We actually had cameras 38 years ago, believe it or not. And what I did was we didn't have these cameras. I mean,
almost like the decision that you're talking about right now. You made the decision like these guys need to make right now.
But how can you be great if you don't even see yourself? I couldn't even see, I didn't know what I looked like in a sales situation. So what I did was I'd start role playing. Every morning I role played. I role played every morning. Me and a guy named Michael Porter.
Okay.
Young black guy. I said, hey, Michael, will you role play with me? Because I would have all these objections that were like, you tell me, hey, I'm not buying today, and I'd get this freaking look on my face.
You'd freak out, freeze.
No, I'd get this sad look. Like, like you could see it I saw it on my face. I'm like, shit, but I would never buy anything from this guy. His face is bad. So like if you got a bad face, you don't even know you got a bad face. So if you study actors or models know exactly how to walk. Why? Because they viewed themselves. Baseball players. If you watch the Astros, okay, the Astros, man, those guys, tens of thousands. They'll look at tens of thousands of curveballs. They can see the seam. They see like 199 mile an hour fastball. Like you can't even see it. The ball goes invisible. They can see the seams on the ball. Why? They've seen 10,000 of those.
Tom Brady spends 4 to 5 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Role playing.
Exactly.
Game film.
Over and over again. And it was crazy because after 90 days of role playing, it was only 90 days, I went from being a scared salesman to literally like predicting people's responses, predicting what they would say.
You knew it was happening before it even happened.
Bro, it's like Jordan said the whole game slowed down and went into slow motion. I remember today, right now, when that happened, the first time I had that experience.
Yeah.
I knew what they would say.
What's crazy is
I knew what they said the second time. I knew what they were going to say. Like I could literally write out the whole script.
I know when that happened for me, and that was because of you. And it changed my life. So first off,
dude, come on, that's awesome.
For real.
That's the best thing.
Because you taught me, this guy taught, like when you taught me.
And you don't even know that can happen to you until it happens.
How it's too expensive. Already working with someone. Send me more information. I'm not the right person. I need to talk to my boss, my partner.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe.
Price it too high, not buying today.
Gosh.
Yeah. Need to talk to my wife.
When you taught me that there are ways to be prepared for these situations.
Yeah.
My life, my income.
Yeah.
3 to 5x every year, millionaire.
Yeah.
Because of that, because I was in the matrix like you're talking about. So thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah. Your confidence changes. Not I don't mean this pretend like, I'm going to be positive confidence. I'm talking about where you're going.
Yeah.
Right. When I know where I'm going, I'm not confident. I'm going to get a haircut today. I know exactly where it is. You could literally I'm not going to drive over there and watch where I'm going. I know where I'm going, man. I don't have to check it out. I don't put it on my phone, nav it. Like, I know exactly where I'm going. I know how long it takes to get there. I know I'll never get lost. That's how you should know 2023 and how much money you're going to make.
Yeah, the preparation, these
the commitment,
secrets to build this unbreakable business, the mindset and the commitment is like the first massive pillar. My VP of sales and I, we say that sales success is like 95% mindset.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's this script, this list, this thing. Do you agree? Like, what do you think?
You got to make a decision. So I know that for most companies, everything's going to be off next year. It won't be for me. It will not be. I will grow my company next year. I don't care if everybody else goes in their tubes. Short of the world completely stopping. If it stops, okay, well then I think I'd still somehow figure out how to grow the business. But it's never stopped before. So you go back to 1929, there was people still making money. The wealthy people, the wealthy families look back and say, could we do that again?
Yeah.
Because they figured out, like, you can go back hundreds and hundreds of years and see the same cycle happening every 10 or 15 or 20 years. And the same moves are being made by entire civilizations and kingdoms.
And talk to us real quick, to the audience, about this deal you've got going on January 20th.
Yeah, well, it's free. Okay, you don't have to travel. No hotels required, no travel required. Come spend 5 days with me. Okay, like what do you have to lose? We're doing it in January because we know that's a great time of the year for people to start making decisions to change. We didn't do it the first week. We're doing it the third week. It's a great time of the year for you to because you've already made some commitments in January to change your life, but around the 21st day of the month, most people are already giving up. So we're gonna tag you right there because we didn't want to interrupt the first 3 weeks because we know you already got this New Year's vibe going on. So I'm going to pick you up right where
you lose it at like day 21.
Totally.
After 3 weeks, you're like, I don't know. You forget about it.
Yeah. It starts becoming just another year, right? So we want to make sure 2023 is the best year you've ever had. If you made a commitment to do that, use this as a place to springboard you into 2023 to guarantee it's 5 days. It's free. Come as much or as little as you like. You come one day for the same price that you can come 5 days. You get me all 5 days. I know you guys are busy. I made the time. I'm busy too.
I know I'm making the time. I called Grant and I was like, hey, everyone's scared. They're freaking out because of the recession. And you responded, this is going to be the worst time that we've seen in decades. If you don't have the plan and you don't have the unbreakable business pillars. And then I was like, okay, what are those? And you gave those to me. The mindset, the sales, the marketing, the communication, and the scale. And you're like, dude, you got to have you and your people show up to this free event I'm doing all around this deal.
Yeah. And these guys, again, like if you look at Elon or Jeff Bezos, or these guys all did very similar things. They're not, they're extraordinary people because of what they did. They're ordinary people that did extraordinary things, and then they get called extraordinary. So you guys have that in you. Every one of you have it in you. You just got to get around the right network. If you spent time with Jeff or Elon for 5 days, do you think it would change things?
Change everything.
Change everything, man. Just hang with them. They don't even have to say anything. Just roll around with them. Just start rolling around with them, okay? Come watch me work for 5 days. Yeah. Just come watch me market.
Being around this guy helped us sell over 100 million. Our users have sold over 30 billion. Just being around the right people.
Dude, the network is the network. The network is your energy. The network, like everything that networks. Okay, I dropped 35 palm trees on the beach where I live here in Miami. Right, I dropped these trees in. What happens is the first year, all these trees, they're root balls. The root balls are like this big, that deep. What they do is they all start connecting with one another. So we had this big storm come in, the surge came in, and my wife's like, oh, I think we're going to lose that one tree. I said, baby, that one tree is now connected to all the other 32 trees. Okay, that one tree ain't going down by itself. It's connected to a bunch of other healthy trees. You guys got to decide how healthy you're going to get connected. And most of you, your connections are unhealthy. You got people around you that are broken. They're broken in their minds. They're over-medicated. They've given up on dreams too many times. They could have done something big and didn't. You know, they've been beat up by the media. They're fixated and dramatized by politics. And these are all networks. You're spiritually connected to these people that are broken. And the thing is only as strong as the weakest link or whatever that is. You got a bunch of weak links around you. So what do? You don't get rid of them. You start replacing, you start adding some strong links. This guy's a strong dude. He's getting big results. You know, we've got 18 companies here. Every one of them works. Every one of them makes money, and every one of them will grow next year. So
you guys got to
it's
show
free.
up to
It's
this
a free
Unbreakable
network
challenge. This thing's going to be amazing. I'm going to have our whole team join it. I'm glad you got a piece of the action, the secrets. Like if you thought this was good with these secrets to building an unbreakable business, wait till January 24th to 28th. It's free. Click the link below. We're going to have everything for you. Click the link below, register, join the wait list, get on this now. Tell your friends about it. Anyone can join. Family members, people at your company.
You should, you know,
everyone do it.
Speaking about family, you guys should figure out how do you spend time with your team watching this. This could be great material for you and your team. Again, it doesn't cost anything. It does cost time. You know, who needs to see it at your office? Who are these other weak links that need to be strengthened? The bookkeeper. I've seen bookkeepers, $60,000 a year bookkeepers ruin $60 million businesses because of their mindset, because they're like, oh, we can't spend this money right now. I've seen lawyers that don't even work at the company charging $200 an hour, ruining a $200 million business. I've had lawyers try to talk me out of deals. I want to do a deal, and they're like, this is a bad deal for you. I'm like, bro, you don't know nothing about deals. If you knew something about deals, you wouldn't be charging me $200 an hour. You'd be making $200 million. So I've seen this happen, and you guys, I've seen my mom almost taught me out of getting into the real estate business, which is $1 billion business for me, a $4 billion business. And my mom
talked you out of it.
She said, you shouldn't do that. It's a bad idea.
Oh man.
Stay good at the thing you're doing.
Yeah.
So my mom loved me. By the way, I had a great mom.
Yeah.
Best friend I ever had in my whole life.
My mom, same way. Scarcity.
Dude,
grew up
terrified.
Bad,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You know? So
save every dime, save everything.
Yeah, if you have any of that going on around you, if you grew up in a scarcity mentality, come and fix this in 2023. Come and fix this. Fix your sales, fix your marketing, fix your scaling, fix your mindset, and then let's fix this communication thing that holds it all together.
Awesome. So click the link below. And then this is the last piece of this segment because I know Grant's got to go. He's got to continue building an unbreakable business. We call this rapid fire.
Okay.
Questions from the audience that they're dying to know. Number one.
Let me see. Now I'm scared.
What's your favorite habit?
My favorite habit is success.
Success. What is something that you regret?
Oh man, I used drugs. I got hooked up in drugs when I was 16 till 25. I regret those years.
How do you stay motivated?
I don't actually. I don't stay motivated, dude. I just get back. I win. I want to win, man. If I'm successful, I'm happy.
What is your favorite book that had the biggest impact on you?
I've read so many books. There was a book. I'll tell you about a book I didn't read. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you about a book I read that helped me a bunch that I hated.
Okay.
You ever ask that question?
I should.
The Millionaire Next Door. I read that book. I'm like, I ain't never gonna be this guy. That's all I walked away with that book. I ain't buying a used truck. I will drink as much coffee as I want to, and I will buy it from Starbucks. If brewing my coffee is gonna make me a millionaire, being a millionaire. Okay. The second book that I read that changed my life that I didn't read, the title, the cover of it, it shows you how little a person actually needs to when they're ready. And the name of the book was How to Be a Real Estate Mogul, or something like that. I bought the book. I think I still have it in my library at home. I never read it. But the title encouraged me to be a real estate mogul.
That's insane.
I'm like, I ain't reading past that. I got everything I need, bro. Just be a mogul.
I love that. What do you do when you get stuck? How do you get unstuck? Because a lot of people they're going to have like a good week, a good month, and this recession will just keep beating them down.
Yeah.
And then they'll get stuck.
Yeah.
What have you done when you felt you start to retract when you know you should expand?
I'll tell you a sales trick that I used. Anytime I went on, when you say stuck, I think about having a spell where I can't sell anything.
Okay.
a dry spell, or what's it called? It's a, you know, funky monkey, man. You know, you can't sell anything. You got the virus, closer's virus.
Yeah.
You got that thing, right? Well, what I do is I always do this. I go help somebody else. I'm like, man, let me call some of your clients. Because what happens is when I haven't made a sale for a while, okay, it's a dry spell. It's when you're fishing and you're not catching anything. What's that called? Skunked, whatever, right? I can't get it. I can't get the vibe back. I can't get the magic.
Yeah.
If you're a salesperson, you know what I'm talking about.
100%.
You're in the mode, man. You're the best in the world. Boom. You got the bing, and it's magic, man. And all of a sudden, man, you go 2 or 3 days and you're like, man, I lost it. Yeah. I remember thinking that all the time. I lost it. I'm never going to sell anybody ever again. I lost the magic, right? Anytime I would do that, because you get so interiorized about what you're doing right or wrong, or, you know, you start walking on eggshells. And I don't want to take any risks now. So what I would do is I'd be like, hey, can I call your customers? What do you want? Nothing. I'm just going to call them. I'm going to save one deal. I need to get back in the game. Okay. It's like I'm assisting you. In basketball, I wouldn't keep taking shots if you're cold, you're cold. And so what I would do is assist him in shots. Okay. And once we make one together, then I'm like, okay, I'm back. I got my magic back.
Yeah.
But I could take more
those
risks.
Deposits,
give
exactly. The value.
Yeah. And this has been a saving grace for me. And part of what we're doing in January, I know good karma comes with giving something for free. We thought about, okay, I could do 20 minutes. I could do an hour. We're doing 20 minutes now.
Yeah. I
could do 2 hours, but there's no way I can get through these 5 pillars in a couple hours. So to be fair to the audience, for those of you that are committed, you're committed to your 2023. I know you want to get back to your quick round.
No,
man, good. Do the 5 days with me.
And you're spending a shitload of money to I heard you got some offers out that are like secret. I can't even talk about them, but you're bringing in some heavy hitters. Yeah?
I always spend money, man. I don't mind spending money. You know, I know it's going to pay off. You know,
I love that. You're just always making those deposits.
They're deposits. There's
scaling.
A billionaire taught me this. It was probably 12 years ago. The guy just sold his company for. He was $25 million in debt. He had no money, everything. He had everything on. He walked away with $4.4 billion. And he says, Grant, look, man, it's not just about return on capital. He's like, it's not true. He's like, it's sometimes you just got to keep making the investments. And he's like, you know, it's not just this lifetime either. Like, just keep making investments. I was at a charity event with him. And I went to 2 charity events with him. And he's like, hey, man, I noticed something on the way home. He's like, I noticed you didn't give anything tonight. I said, yeah, but I gave the other night. He said, bro, never leave anywhere not giving something. Give more than you take everywhere you go. He's like, I promise you the dividends will be there in the future. And he's like, my company that I sold for $4 billion, I just kept believing in it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you believed in it, big deal. He's like, I said, what's the point? He's like, no, believing in it means paying, investing in it. You keep watering the tree. You know, you keep paying attention to it. Your kids, you don't pay attention to kids, you know, you don't pay attention to your marriage. You know what happened. You don't pay attention to your house. Guess what?
And the biggest thing that you should be doing with this
your skill set,
economic collapse is investing in yourself.
Pay attention to you, man.
Yeah.
Keep investing in yourself. There's so many salespeople out there. They're having trouble getting money from other people because basically you sell the way you buy. You know, when somebody says they need to talk to their wife, you're like, you buy into it because you got to talk to your wife. So you're like, oh, yeah, I understand. You got to talk to your wife. Oh, I'm on a budget. We worked our budget out and we don't have the money. Oh yeah, we did the same thing. We don't have the money either. See, what you do is you sell the way you buy things. So we'll fix that in January.
Yeah, January will change everything. I can't wait. And then the last question. You know, if you could go back in time.
Oh yeah, man, we on the speed round.
Oh yeah. Speed round. So you could go back in time, 20-year-old Grant. Yeah. One piece of advice that you could give yourself that changes everything for the trajectory of your future. What is it?
Well, it would be think bigger than I was thinking. I underestimated what I could do. Just so, you know, all the dreams. That's the problem with goal setting, right? You know, nobody's even thinking. You're not even thinking what you're capable of. And I've talked to a lot of other successful people. The one thing that everybody agrees with, yeah, I underestimated what I could do. Cuban, Like all of it. All these guys I've ever spent time with. And I've spent time with some hitters, Lloyd Blankfein, Kevin Turner, Usher, Mayweather, like every one of these guys, except for maybe Mayweather. You know, they're all like, yeah, I didn't know I would achieve all this. So if that's consistent, I think it is, based on talking to other people. I know my wife, she's like, I would have never imagined we would do this. I did every once in a while think about it, but never imagined. My kids are growing up. I think they've been on one commercial flight in their whole life.
Crazy.
So people would be like, "Oh my God, your kids they've had it all." And no, they ain't had it all, man. They ain't bought their own jet. They don't even know if they can. It's probably going to be even harder for them because they're going to be like, "He did. Can I?" They don't know that. You don't know that until you do that. And so just because you have something doesn't mean you have it. And until you do it, you don't have it. And God, I'm just telling everybody that's watching right now, until you do it, you do not have it. And to do it, you need the roadmap. You need the strategies. You need the network. You're going to need people to do it. There's a strategy. And all these people, if you could spend 5 days with Jeff or Elon or Steve or Oprah or you name it, okay? Martin. Y'all know who Martin is? Okay, you know who he is. If you could spend 5 days with these people, would it change your life? And I bet you would tell me it would.
Grant,
come on.
Thank you so much, man, for coming today. Really appreciate it. The Unbreakable Challenge.
What you mean coming? I didn't come. You came.
Yeah, I came.
You came here. I didn't.
I appreciate you having me, hosting us.
With this guy.
This Unbreakable Challenge, Unbreakable Business is amazing. Click the link below from the show. Get on it. Attend it January 24th through the 28th.
The next one we should do in like a cold tub, like Kevin Hart is doing right now.
Let's do it.
I'm waiting for Kevin to invite me to his cold tub. What's he called? What's that thing called?
It's called Chilling Out with Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Chilling Out with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I'd do that with you.
You think it's real? Is he in real ice?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
The other guy.
No way.
Got it. It's got it, guys.
Thank you for listening to Sales Secrets with Brandon Bornancin. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss an episode that drops on the daily. Your success is our success.